Hi guys, I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. How are you doing? So DJ Bongolee is my special guest tonight, and he is going to talk about what he believes to be Omoni Oboli. Oh wow. I haven't seen this sister of mine in a long time. Let me look for her trouble and bring her. I will respect her if she can agree, because most women at this time, they are in their hair nets, toothbrushes in their mouth, they are tying wrapper. Very few women can accept, hey, I knew you would decline. Hey, Omoni, I dare you to come live now. Most women want to come live when they've done their makeup routine, their eyebrows are on fleek. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, tap away at the screen. Um, don't forget, buy direct from USA.com. Buy direct from USA.com. Buy direct from USA.com for anything you need from the USA delivered to your doorstep. Everything you need to your doorstep. Whatever it is that you want. You could. The other day I ordered a tire for my vehicle, and it came all the way from the US. Where Bongolee, they could help me reach out to her. Buy direct from USA.com. Buy direct from USA.com. Do check them out. We're waiting for Bongolee. Bongolee, where are you? Bongolee, can somebody reach out to Bongolee? Hey, Bongolee, oh. DJ Bongolee. Okay, I send that message. Where's Bongolee? And I chatted with him this evening. I'm on a wow. Femi, help me reach Bongolee. Oh yeah. Time no day. Hey, Bongolee won the dollars this night. While we wait for Bongolee, this thing is getting serious. Arnold Schwarzenegger detained by customs at Munich airport. a whole former governor, a whole celebrity, Hollywood star, for not declaring a luxury watch he was wearing while traveling to Austria. How do you declare what you are wearing? I understand the watch in your bag, but if you are wearing it, is it not supposed to be your personal possession? Are you not supposed to use it to tell time, no matter how expensive it is? Now imagine he wore fake. Go, when they like fake this year, they go catch una, eh? Una go hate una self. Where is Bongolee? If you have it in your bag, I understand. They might ask you to declare it. Can somebody call Bongolee? I know he likes AP. He likes AP. Bongolee, yo. Bongo Zikwe. Where are you? What am I eating? Cashew new. Someone say, oh yeah, make we can't touch your Benz, or can't touch your anointed motor. How are you doing, Ada Blessing? How are you, Ada? I can always badun you. Today I know they even chop granite. I like granite a lot. So it's what I eat. I try to eat fruits and nuts. Almost so many people called me on top this Ibadan. Ah, all of you saying pray for Ibadan. Should be pastor saying a light tremor. Say God talk, say no go even happen again. I think I don't even understand how people just even allow these people to just be talking and people be just be listening. Should be pastor saying a light tremor. I don't know why when they bother. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen, double click the screen. Bongolee. Ẹ máa gbà mí Bongolee dà. Ẹ̀hẹ́n ó ti dé. Our special guest has arrived. Somebody say, who be Bongolee? Ask Peter to be supporters.
Oh,
They know
you
him
can
very
see
well.
me, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good
Good
evening.
morning. Good morning.
Oluwa Bongolee.
How are you, sir?
Ẹ̀hẹ́n.
I'm
So,
happy to see you.
happy to see you too. What took you so long?
No, actually, I've been ready since 2 a.m. Nigerian time.
Okay.
So I was just waiting on you. And I know that when you are ready, you let me know. So that's why.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
But everybody on the ask, where is Bongolee? Where's our special guest? Where is Bongolee? Where is Bongolee?
Apologies, guys.
Uh-huh.
Apologies. I'm sorry.
How are you doing this new year anyway?
Well, I'm doing okay. I cannot complain. We're grateful to the Creator. There's been a lot of basketballs this January for some reason.
January started on a high.
Fireworks from January 1st
I don't chop
till now.
I did hear you, Jerry.
Yeah, no, I said it's been fireworks like everywhere. We just need to take it easy. And to my enemies, I've been praying for you guys. I pray for you guys to succeed. I pray for blessings for you guys. I pray for God to soften your hearts. I acknowledge you guys and I love you guys so much because without you, there will be no Bongolee. Okay? You guys, my enemies, my detractors, my otas, I love you all so much. I pray for my enemies because my enemies have been helping me, to be a better person. They've pushed me into greater heights. So I love them. So thank you all very much. And hope to see you guys, when you guys are doing well. And when I'm also doing well, I hope to see you guys too. So make merry, okay? I love you all. Then my people that have affection for me, I also love you all. And I pray for you guys also. I'm a free-spirited person. I don't harbor any HAT against anybody. And if anybody is HATING or Bongolee, that's your problem.
That's on you.
But that's on. I heard, was it not last week or 2 weeks ago, someone reached out to me and told me that they were calling Amadioha for me. They want to invoke Amadioha for me. So, and I know that the Amadioha God, the deity, what's the word? If your hands are not clean, you go there, it's going to strike you. So, I don't know what I did to them, but they say they want to invoke Amadioha on me. So I don't know. You guys will be all right. Focus on your lives, man. Focus on being better people. Focus on being better people for yourself and better people for your society, wherever you're living in, across the globe. And also Nigeria. Remember, whatever is going on in Nigeria, it's not on the government alone. It's also on us. Be it security, it's also on us. If you see something, you say something. And you can attack the government, you can attack the leaders, but don't attack the country itself. The country itself has not done anything for you. Actually, it's the people that fail the country and not the country failing the people. So please let us do better as Nigerians. Okay,
all right. Do better. We don't have that much time. Let's go to Ibadan. God bless you, Bongolee. No vex. I know you are trying to there's quite a lot to talk about, but let's go to what really brought us here, because while for Nigeria no degree end, no matter how much you try, it will keep accumulating. So What are your thoughts about Ibadan?
Well, firstly, what I would say is my heartfelt condolences to the people that passed on in Ibadan, the people that lost their properties innocently, and the people that are injured right now. I pray for all of them and their families. These are very hard times and tough times, so let's keep them in our prayers. Now, for what happened in Ibadan, it was an e-explo. So I would use that word and say e-explo. So people, for algorithm reasons.
Yes, yes, yes.
And there seems to be some confusion as regards what may have
What
happened.
may have led to?
Yeah, what may have led to that or what may have happened. So Bongolee will not talk about what's the word? What happened? But Bongolee will give different scenarios as to what he thinks may have happened. Because you shouldn't take my word for, okay, Bongolee said it and yes, that is what it is. No. But I'm here to poke holes in what I think the governor has said and let us have some critical thinking and reasoning as regard what may have happened in Ibadan. That is why I'm here today. So let's do this. Basically in Ibadan, it was an unfortunate incident, and it is one of two things. It is either it was an ammonium nitrite explo, or it was a vapor cloud explo. One of the two. Now, let us start with the ammonia. Let me do the vapor cloud explo, because with the ammonia explo, there's some things, because I also want to profess solutions. So what I want to do is not just me critiquing and saying this is what happened. I want to bring solutions. And guys, I'm a process safety expert, so this is my field also. So I have every right to, or I have the qualification to be able to speak on matters like this. I am the person that will go there and do all the studies and all of the hazard analysis and all of that when things like this happen. So I have some form of qualification to be able to speak on this matter. Now, what is vapor cloud explosion? So basically, vapor cloud explosion simply means that you have a flammable gas or vapor that is in the air, and then it looks for an ignition source. So there's a leak, and then it forms that cloud. And there is what is called the lower explosion limit and upper explosion limit. So for the most part, that's why I asked if there was a gas station around that area. And they said, yes, there's a gas facility in that area. And with that particular gas facility in that area, so it's like, okay, they'll be doing LPG. So LPG is the liquefied petroleum gas. And LPG is a mixture of propane and butane. And that is what we use for cooking. And that is heavier than air. It is denser than air. So for us to have a fire triangle consists of air or oxygen, the fuel, and the ignition source. So all three have to come together. So in the case of LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, because I don't think it's natural gas, even if it's going to be vapor cloud explosion, I think it's going to be cooking gas. And for which is 1.9% to about 8.5%. So once you have that volume, you are going to have what is called a vapor cloud explosion. It looks more like a vapor cloud explosion to me. And we can go on and talk about the vapor cloud explosion and explain all of the factors on how to prevent it and all. So now that I've explained that phenomenon, now I want to cast everyone's mind back to what happened in Apuliado in 2020 and look at the similarity, the extent of damage, and look at that. Now I want to switch over to the other probable reason, which is the what do they call it? The ANFO. So there is a speculation, or they're saying that there were some people that were doing illegal mining. And with illegal mining, you basically use two types of, what would I call them? Fuel. Let me use the word fuel in this case for the explo activities. Like basically you want to explode a rock or whatever it is, or the ground or whatever it is, so you can do your mining. You know. So basically, you have what is called the dynamite, and you have the ANFO. So when they say dynamite, I think it might be incorrect, because for you to have an explode with a dynamite, you have to have a blasting cap on it. So if the blasting cap is not there, I'm going to explain another phenomenon called decomposition. If the blasting cap is not there, it is less probable for it to explode. However, there is a cheaper option, which is the ammonium nitrite mixed with fuel oil. If they say it is for the mining activities, but I think it's just ammonium nitrite alone, because it could be, because ammonium nitrite is the base to make explode, then SIVES, or for fertilizer. So when you have that thing stored there, the ammonium nitrite stored there, then for it to actually have that explode happen, or that explode happen, you need to have a heating medium. You need to have an energy, thermal energy. And in this case, there needs to be a report that there was a fire incident in that area. And then you have flames heating up that ANFO, or the ammonium nitrite, in there, stored in there. Now, this is what will happen. Nothing happens till it gets to 190 degrees centigrade. Now, once it gets to 190 degrees centigrade, it goes through what is called a decomposition reaction. Now, a decomposition reaction is uncontrolled. Now, once it gets to 210 degrees centigrade, I mean, that's the temperature, then it begins to release toxic gases. And once it crosses that 200 degrees centigrade, then you have a detonation. And then you may have that incident that happened. Now, the eyewitnesses said they heard one loud bang. They heard one loud bang, and if it were just that the ANFO, for example, meaning ammonium nitrate fuel oil, it should have just been it should have been a couple of sounds. Now, whereas the vapor cloud, you have multiple sounds. You have multiple sounds. No, with the vapor cloud, you have one sound, while with the ANFO, you have multiple sounds. Now, I want people to watch the video of the Beirut explode in 2020. You will see that there was a fire. And then you hear a first sound and a second sound. Though they had about 2,700 tons of this ammonium nitrite there that was stored improperly for 6 years. So that is where the confusion comes in. So it's like, did you see a crater? I saw something that looks similar to a crater.
I saw a crater.
I saw something similar. Now, looking at the epicenter, was that the epicenter? Then you look at the blast radius. You look at the supersonic pressure. You look at the shock waves and all of that. Now, I would ask the people in Ibadan, for example, when that thing happened, did you see a plume? Did you see a plume? I mean, like a white plume. You either have a white plume or a brown plume. You must have that. And once you have that, then you can now begin to even see like different particles flying in the air. Did the people see that? That's the question. Did the people see that? So I'll leave it at that for now. So it is one of two things. It is either a vapor cloud explosion, which I'm turning towards that direction, which will have been caused by a gas leak, or, like they said, that explosives. Now they have to tell me if there was a fire incident, and then heating it up that much temperature, and then there has to be a plume. Nobody recorded plumes. So those are where the holes need to be poked or poked. Thank you.
All right. So we have people in the house. Does anybody have any contribution to what DJ Bongolee has said? The problem with this topic is it's a very intellectual topic, and many people will be running away from contributing to a topic that is intellectual. Someone say from plume to plum. All right, we've got somebody here. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great.
What is your name?
My name is Favor.
All right, Favor, what do you do for a living? Let's get to know you, Favor. I don't think we've seen you here before.
Yes, I model, I act.
Okay. All right, Favor, go ahead.
Okay, what's the topic about?
The topic is about Ibadan.
Okay, Ibadan. My mom is here. Hi.
Hi, how are you doing, ma?
How are you?
How are you doing, ma?
Good.
How old is your daughter, Favor?
I used to follow you a lot.
Oh, nice to meet you, ma.
Yeah, I'm your big fan.
Oh, thank you, ma.
My handle is Mama Angel 2029.
All right, ma. All right, ma. Thank you so much and stay blessed.
You're doing so great.
Oh, thank you very much.
A lot of things you work on it, picking people's attention. You are sorting a lot of things out, and that is kudos for you. You are doing a great job.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much.
We really, really appreciate you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you too, ma.
Like you that can come out to say what it.
Oh, thank you so much, ma.
Yeah.
All right, ma. Favor, bye. How old is Favor?
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, ma. All right, we have another guest right here. A very specially big shout out to our new guest. So go ahead.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts about the explosion.
Let's hear your voice louder. Don't wear AirPod. It need to work.
Yeah.
Better.
Listening to the governor today saying illegal mining and all. So, but the issue with this, the only issue I had, like Bongolee like rightly said, is father. How do you allow such things to be around residential settlement that nobody said anything about it and all? Because the safety of the people is really my own concern. The safety of people, and what are the measures we are putting on ground right now to make sure that things like this do not go on? Because we have so many things going on in Nigeria right now that people do not feel safe, and when things like this go on, and we just come out and just say it like this and just like sweep it in less than a week now, it's going to go under the rug. What are we doing? What are we really putting in place right now? Because I have not really seen that this what words of that's enthusiastic from government to see that they put an end to these things. Because when I looking at a series of videos coming out and every other thing, apart from the governor going down there, we've not even heard anything from any other officials coming up in to talk about this issue directly, to see that people are being arrested. Who are those? If there's an illegal mining, we should start seeing arrests so that people will start taking accountability. Because one thing we say in that country, like Bongolee rightly said, we the people need to be accountable. And if we do not see the element of force, drastic force being taken against these people, then these activities will just continue. Because whether we like it or not, Nigerians are just trying to survive. And the best way for them to survive is all these wrongdoings. But if they do not see that people are being questioned, are being held accountable for such action, then you are going to just keep hearing the same thing going on, and they will come here every day to talk about the same thing. So we need a government that will bring people to book. We all come out. What's the problem with us as Nigerians? The moment we cross Murtala Mohammed Airport, our senses just click. We obey rules and regulations, but when we are home, we don't obey these rules and regulations. How would you bring such explosive around residential areas?
Okay. Ima, please. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Must be this New Year.
And they watch your bass boats now. Should they enter different life, and they see them, they follow you up now.
Yeah, so my brother, good to hear from you. So now let me make a very controversial statement here.
Okay.
If I tell you that those guys or those people that stored those hazardous materials in that residential area didn't violate any law. If I tell you they didn't violate any law, would you believe me?
Explain.
You have to explain that.
Because actually they didn't violate any law. Now, according to the National Environmental Regulation of 2014, it only says come and collect a permit so you can store hazardous materials. It does not give, if you are going to store this particular amount, it should be 50 feet or 100 feet away from residential areas, and it should be away from buildings, from churches, and all of that stuff. I want everyone watching that referees this program right now, you can check the National Environmental Regulation of 2014. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because people that make the laws, and all of these regulations are our reps. Be it state reps, federal reps, and senators, and all of that. And there could be executive orders also, or whatever agency is in charge, the Ministry of Environment, can look into this and write this regulation. So I'm saying it here unequivocally that those people may not have committed any crime in storing that material in that area. He says, hey, go and collect the permit. Yeah, go and collect the permit. They didn't say this is the distance or whatever. So now, comparing it to where I'm currently practicing here in America, we have the OSHA regulations, which in Nigeria is called the OSH, which is Occupational Safety and Health. And I think in OSHA it is OSH 119.019. That is for PHAs. And they have a federal regulation as regards how you store hazardous materials, especially ammonium nitrate or ammonium nitrate, especially how you store it. Now, there is another one that we use when we are doing our studies called the NFPA code. NFPA code, they use it everywhere. It is the National Fire Protection Agency code. And for storing such materials, use NFPA code 400. Use NFPA 400. That there will tell you if you are storing about 1,000 pounds of this, because we use pounds in America and we use kg in Nigeria, which is 909 kg. I would say 910 kg. It says if you are storing this amount, or you're going to store this amount, it needs to be far away from schools, far away from hospitals, far away from residential areas. It talks about the height where you're going to store it. There's something called the MSDS, Material Data, Safety Data Sheet. With the MSDS is going to tell you, it will just tell you store in a clean, in a dry, in a well-ventilated place. It will give you the hazard ratings, so you can see the reactivity. And I think for ammonium nitrate, the reactivity is 3. The hazard ratings is 1 to 4. It's 3 already. So it should not even be stored close to that area at all. But then if you now look at our national environmental regulation of 2014 in Nigeria, it says go with however they say you should store it in the MSDS. The MSDS is not going to tell you these are the dimensions and all of that good stuff, and you should be far away from the people and all of that. So I'm trying to answer your question. We need more robust laws. Now, how are laws created? Laws are made in blood. That's how laws are made. An incident must happen for changes to be made. And that is where we all have a role to play. We all need to write to our, what's it called, our rep, Senate, reps, be it federal or state reps, and speak to these agencies and look at the laws. Look at the laws. Common sense will tell you that you shouldn't store that material in there. But according to that law, I don't know if people are checking it already. According to that regulation, it just tells you get a permit. What you say you are going to store in that place, don't store it there. And go with the MSDS. That is what it says. So if I were opportune to be in the house, for example, this is something that I will push because I'm a safety guy. So I understand all the safety languages. I understand all of these things. Because this incident that happened shouldn't have even happened in the first place. We all know that. Now, I'm just saying, assuming it is the ammonium nitrate. There's a reason why I'm using the word ammonium nitrate. I'm not using Explo, SIVES. I'm not using dynamite. There's a reason why. Because it might not be illegal mining. It might be fertilizer. Because putting in the illegal mining in there, there are 1,000,001 questions that needs to be answered. Now let me respond to this person. Which one is laws are made with blood? Careless talk. Leo Lion Fire, I'm going to respond to you. I don't know who you are, but you need to understand figurative expressions. Respectfully, I don't know the kind of secondary school you attended or university that you attended, but when I say something is written in blood, means that people passed away. That's the language that we use. Like people passed away and passed on, and that is why we need to take those drastic actions or pass those laws. So any safety incident that happens here in the Western world, we always try to say, you know what, we need to put this in place. If nobody passes away, everyone's just going to throw a blind eye to it. People just throw a blind eye to it. That's why I said every is written in BLOOD. Something must happen for you to put all those things in place. And yes, I went to Unilag also. Greatest of the greatest kites. So sorry, somebody said Bongolee for hazardous is not OSHA. The body responsible for here is DOT, Department of Transportation. What I'm saying is different from that. What I'm saying, DOT and OSHA is occupational safety and health. So it's looking at the health of the people. For example, like I was saying on the Freezes program,
they actually overlap on certain things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And what I was saying on the Freeze program is that the people living in that area, I know it is very, very tough. I know it is very, very tough for them leave that area. But there are lots of hazardous chemicals in the air right now. And as I was saying that they should have taken what's called samples, gas bag samples, and go and test in the lab so that they can be sure of what is in the air. Because in 5 to 10 years' times, a lot of people in that area are going to develop health issues. They're going to develop acute lung issues. They're going to develop acute digestion issues. There's a lot of things that is going to happen. I'm not trying to be the pastor of doom, I'm a preacher of doom, or harbinger of bad news, or bearer of bad news. But that is the after effect. There are a lot of things in the air right now. And that's why people need to leave that area, is to be cordoned. Thank you. Let me you can go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. We want to hear you too.
You can go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Freeze, and thank you.
Good evening, bro.
DJ Bongolee. You actually stated a whole lot of facts. However, I do disagree with you on one aspect, because most of our laws in Nigeria are actually somewhat inherited, right? We look at other people's laws, other nations' laws, and we take them and basically adopt them. In a case like what happened in Ibadan, I believe even the governor himself should be somewhat responsible, because you cannot make laws, especially in a very lawless country like ours. You know there are going to be people that would, run afoul or even won't pay any mind to the law. So to come out on national TV and state, illegal mining or whatever, that honestly, especially if lives and properties and whatever are being lost, does not speak well of good leadership.
Hmm.
My brother.
Which,
okay.
Sorry, I mean, with everything else that you've said, I totally agree with you, even about OSHA and some of those things that they do in, looking out for your citizens. Which again, to an extent, yes, the government has like they've tried to do good, but then there's also an enforcement hand to that as well. You cannot just bring laws or establish laws for people and not put any enforcement mechanism in place. So again, who is policing the police? Right. Yes, we have laws on the books, but you don't have people conducting, regular site visits or inspections and things of that nature. So again, failure of leadership. Laws are good, but what use are the laws if they're not being followed or adhered to? But other than that, pretty much everything else you said has been on point. And if we have people like you, as good advocates or whatever, why are you still here? Brother, go to Nigeria and run for office.
Is it easy?
Like for real, you can make, bro. See, with this platform, we know, yes, we can do all the old back and forth and basketballs or whatever. You're quite knowledgeable and you have great ideas. People will get behind you.
Thank you.
Like, don't just say, because it's not easy. Yes, nothing is easy. I'm sure it was never easy coming down to the States. So, like, go down. The people who recognize, the value and the things that you stand to contribute and bring, they will get behind you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Now, my brother, let me be in here. Daddy Freeze, I don't know. He's waiting for US. I'm a US citizen. He's not. He's waiting for you. I'm a US citizen. I'm
Ignore the comment section.
For many years. Many years. Okay. Now, Daddy Freeze, please, can you read the National Environmental Regulation 2014 Nigeria?
Okay.
If you just go, please, I want you to just open it. And then you look at where they talk about storing hazardous materials and talk about storage. And then I think it's 11, number
2014.
11. National Environmental Regulation Nigeria 2014.
Okay. Yeah, it's a long document.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Now, please look for in the first section, look for storage.
Okay, the one I saw is food. It's not.
No. There's a reason why I am saying that, so that you can see.
Air quality regulations is different. Environmental hazardous chemicals. Laws of Nigeria.
No. This is Nigeria I'm talking about.
Yes, standards of Nigeria, hazardous chemicals, scope, exemption, exempt.
Look for storage, sir.
Storage of restricted hazardous substances.
Exactly. Now, please go there and read number 11 or so. I think it's number 11 or something, so that you can read it and see how we can make changes to our regulation. Because the governor said something that maybe all of these things that are being stored in all these different areas, maybe we'll move it to the barracks and let the military tell us how to store it. I saw that. I'm like, Governor, what are you saying? This is the opportunity for you to advocate for them to pass a law in the House or in Oyo State House of Assembly, or work on those regulations. Go to the Ministry of Environment. This is the opportunity. Why are you saying they should go and store it in the military base? What are you talking about?
And then get military escort to go and use it, and it doesn't even make any sense. Like, you're going to say,
I won't say that, but maybe they don't know, because people think they know. They really don't. At times they don't know. But my brother, I'm still coming. I want that Freeze to read that thing. Okay. I want that Freeze to read that thing, because you said something that as regards those laws. I said there's an NFPA code. I'm not sure we use NFPA code in Nigeria. Because if we use NFPA code in Nigeria, there are a lot of things that will not be in place anymore that are in place. Because NFPA code talks about ammonium nitrite especially. How it's supposed to be stored.
To be stored, yes.
That's why I put that in there. But other than that, we are cool. I just want to just put that disclaimer out there. Sacrifice, have you seen it?
Yes, 11. I have. I've seen number 11. It said storage, but it doesn't.
Please, you read it out, and you can read it and assimilate it and tell me if those guys that were storing those things in that house, they violated any law or regulation.
A person with a permit to store and use hazardous chemicals and pesticides shall keep record of the quantity of such in such a form as approved by the agency, not store the substance for any purpose other than the specified in the permit, store the substance in line with the MSDS as outlined in the schedules, ensure that the agents have received relevant and continuous training, waste classification, and labeling.
That's all.
But you know how hard it is to get such a permit to keep these things? You can't. Did those guys have a permit? That's the question.
But
if they don't have a permit, then it's illegal.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not illegal. I am talking about the storage here. I'm saying that anybody can take anything like that and go and store it anywhere. Nowhere except they show me something else, because in Nigeria, OSH is under Ministry of Labor. Except there's another document that I am not privy to.
Okay.
And I'm open to be schooled on that. But if that is what our national environmental regulation is saying, 2014, the latest and greatest one, it is not saying that you are storing this hazardous chemical, you should be this height. You should have this mechanical fan for ventilation, because you need to store those things in a dry place, in a clean place, and in a well-ventilated place. You need to have fire extinguishers in place. You need to have all of this in place. And now, again, most importantly, you need to have a water sprinkling system. You need to have a water sprinkler. So once it's hitting that temperature, it has a temperature sensor or a smoke sensor that goes sprinkles water. This part of the design or deluge system or sprinkler system, and then it kills it off. It kills it cools everything down. So this,
I'm even willing to concede, like, just even give them the benefit of the doubt, right? That they have all these laws in the books or whatever, and the people did everything that they were supposed to do. The government alone still bears some sort of responsibility in ensuring that the established laws are followed to a T, especially when it comes to certain chemicals that could cause like grave danger or destruction to lives and properties. Again, the enforcement component. Over here, you hear all the time, every year, OSHA goes and conducts inspection, like site inspections.
Of course.
Right? Truckers, almost every month or even on certain trips, they will tell you when you get to a certain place, you pull over, you have your trucks inspected. Your vehicle, every year you have to go through an inspection. It's no different from, hospitals and other places of businesses. Again, that we don't have that enforcement mechanism is a big issue. So why is a whole government, a whole governor of a state, not taking any sort of responsibility for that negligence? Because it is negligence by all definition.
You see something, when the governor made that statement, I was livid. I was going nuts.
Rightfully so.
Because I'm like, wait till you get like a clear-cut idea of what may have happened before you said what you said. Wait. Tell the people it's okay, it's all right, an incident happened, we're on top of it. Wait. Don't say something and then you push people in a certain direction. Because when you say illegal mining, what are they mining? Where are they mining? What is in the ground that they are mining in Oyo State or in Ibadan that we are not aware of? When you say mining, you can even be attracting, because in Nigeria, for example, we know that's where you see the BANDITS. They are doing illegal mining somewhere in Nigeria. If you hear of BANDITS anywhere, they are doing illegal mining in that place. Take it or leave it. 100%. So now, what has happened, right? What has happened, right? Now, there are other things that I feel that they should put in place. Because also, as we are critiquing, we are giving them solutions. One of the solutions is to look at rejig our national environmental regulations and begin to look at chemicals that we use mostly or majorly in Nigeria and look at how we can store them. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be stored. Like, this is how it's supposed to be stored and all of that. Secondly, our hospitals. Because a lot of casualties or victims of that, ill-fated incident were taken there. We need to look at our triage system. In Lagos State, for example, when there was an incident where a boss, a staff boss of the Lagos State government wanted to, just drive the full speed past a rail track, and the rail hit the train hit them. Do you remember that incident? Do people remember that incident? That happened in Lagos years ago. Like, the guy wanted to run over a rail crossing, and then he got impacted. A lot of people died or died. And then they showed people on the ground, in the hospital and all of that stuff. They were doing triage. A lot of people didn't understand what that meant. Was triage they were doing to know where exactly to take them to. How severe is your case? Where do we need to take you to? So we need to have this triage system in place. We need to put in the right regulations. The hospitals. We have a ratio of 1 doctor to 8,000 patients in Nigeria already. 1 doctor to 8,000 patients in Nigeria already. So the government needs to look into that. And also the emergency response. And based on what I saw and what I have read, the government of Oyo State tried with all of the resources they had as regards the emergency response. Because the state emergency management agency showed up. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, everybody showed up. Everybody's showing up and showing out. They are doing their possible best. The governor is telling people to leave that area. How I wish that area was barricaded. How I wish there were nobody in that area. They should have pushed people maybe 100 or 200 meters away from that area. Nobody should be in that area. They should be barricaded. Send everybody away.
All right, let's hear from the lady so we can round off. Sarah, how are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks for having me.
All right, Sarah.
Yeah, quite an interesting conversation, and on a very unfortunate incident. May the soul of those that were lost rest in peace.
Amen.
So I just want to add my few points here. And what I want to say basically is, Mr. Bongolee, I appreciate your contribution and our other man here. But with respect to the law you mentioned on National Environmental Regulation, which is fully called National Environmental Hazardous and Chemical and Pesticides Regulation of 2014. Yes. You said you would categorically say there is no way that they would have committed any offense based on the section you cited. I just want us to be very conscious of what we put out, because I personally won't be quoting a particular regulation, but I want to say unequivocally that there are multiple regulations, laws that guide certain activities. And if you have not taken your time to go through everything beyond this law, there might be some other law where they will be found wanting. So I don't think it would be right or appropriate for us to say clearly they have not done anything wrong. Morally speaking, we all know they've done something wrong. But talking about citing a regulation, I have not taken my time. That's why I'm not. This is something that would require research, because any incidents that happen, in as much as we are professionals in our different aspects, when it comes to this, I believe we would need some time to do some research. And to balance things up with what the other man said, it's not just our laws, it's about compliance and how it's being enforced. Enforcement is our major issue. I would want to say clearly that there are aspects of the regulations that restrict activities like this, that punish actions relating to this storage of hazardous substance and the implication on people staying around. But we cannot just cite one singular law and an aspect of that law and say on that basis they probably have not done anything wrong, or they can't be found wanting legally. So I just want us to clear that aspect. If I have some time, I can do a little research, and I can assure you that I will come out with some other regulations or some other section in the body of this regulation you have mentioned, where they will be found wanting on what they have done. So I appreciate the perspective you're coming from and the regulation you have cited, but to say unequivocally that they have done nothing wrong based on the law, this is not the only law that they could refer to when it comes to issues like this.
And even in that law, it says they must have a permit. Do they have a permit?
Daddy Freeze, remember, we all agreed here. My sister,
Bongolee, 2 minutes, make we round off. I'm exhausted today.
I know that we all, what I said, I want you to understand me very well. I'm saying the storage itself. I am not saying it's being in a residential area. I'm not really concerned about it being a residential area or otherwise.
Even with respect to storage.
I'm saying with respect, because in there, it says, there was a lazy, let me use the word, a lazy approach, because it says store it according to the guidance from the MS. The MSDS is the material safety data sheet. That gives you its physical and chemical properties, how to handle it and how to store it. All it will tell you is store in a cool area, store in a dry area, store in an area where you have ventilation, store in an area where it's close to the fire extinguisher and all of that. But it doesn't.
From that
yes, but it doesn't. Yeah, from that regulation, yes, but it doesn't talk about. That's why I talked about the NFPA code. And I'm not sure we use the NFPA code in Nigeria. Because the NFPA code in Nigeria, if we use NFPA code 400, that talks about the storage and handling of chemicals like that and gives an example of how to store ammonium nitrite. I'm looking far ahead. I'm not looking at this incident.
The NFPA code you are referring to, I assume, is something that is applicable in the United States, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And Europe has their own equivalent, but Nigeria doesn't have.
Sorry?
Nigeria doesn't have its equivalent. The UK has its own equivalent.
Can you say that unequivocally? Like, have you conducted detailed research for you to say there is nothing equivalent to that? Because we have so many laws. I'm trying not to misguide people. That's my concern, because we have.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
Now let me give you an example. That if I know because of time. In 2019-2020, I took the Department of Petroleum Resources head-on under the NNPC back then. Now they are now the NMDPRA, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Regulation Agency. That's what they are today. I took them head-on because of what's happening in where I'm from, in Satellite Town, where they cited tank farms in residential areas. And I was telling them that the radius, I don't agree with that radius. Like you have homes, and then like 20-30 meters from those homes, you have tank farms. And then I looked at the DPR regulations in citing tank farms, and I compared it to the NFPA code, and they are worlds apart. So it is not today I have been looking at regulations, different regulations in Nigeria, and I pointed to one as an example. And I'm saying that this regulation doesn't protect us from incidents like this. I am not looking at the Ibadan alone. I'm looking at generally across Nigeria. Like if they store this material in a home, maybe it's not in a residential area or far from a residential area, but it doesn't meet those conditions, will fall under the same boat. Because of, if an incident happens, there is the shock waves and the blast radius and the supersonic pressure of the effect of this thing that happened. So that's where I'm going to. I'm not talking about these incidents, this one that happened, because it's incidents like this that helps us to strengthen our regulations.
No doubt.
And our law. That's what I am saying.
I get your perspective. The angle I'm just coming from is the fact that we should be conscious of what we put out there.
It was intentional. I said it intentionally.
Yeah, the regulation you cited, no doubt it's a relevant regulation, but that's not absolute. Most issues relating to things like this are not usually regulated by just one law. Or just by just one law. They are usually.
Well, I'm looking forward to you doing your research, and then you can show me other law.
All right, guys, it's been wonderful hosting you and having you. It's been wonderful hosting you and having you. God bless you. Thank you so much, Bongolee, for all the information. Thank you for Sarah, for the gentleman who also joined and chipped in. And Sarah, thank you for bringing balance to the narrative. Thank you so much. And our hearts go out to everyone in Ibadan right now. At this stage, I'm not sure anybody wants to be in that Bodija area right now because of the near and far consequences of these blasts. Thank you all so much for joining us live. Do take care of yourselves and stay blessed.
I'm turning on my live. Sarah, join my live. I'm turning on my live.
No wahala.
Join me. Go official Bongolee. Join me. Let's continue.
Oops. I'm half of it.